Well, welcome into the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania, the home of the 13-time Calder Cup champion Hershey Bears. My name is Allie Berube. This is the A look around the American Hockey League at the stories and prospects and teams that are hoping to contribute on the NHL level, but here in the AHL, working on that development that will lead to Stanley Cup champions in the NHL, Calder Cup champions here on this level. Each and every week, we're going to take you through some of the top stories in this developmental hockey league. And of course, as we are standing here inside the Giant Center for the most decorated franchise in American Hockey League history, we are going to start with the Hershey Bears, who most recently won back-to-back Calder Cups in 23 and 24, made the playoffs in 2025, but simply ran out of steam. That 3-year stretch, good enough for then head coach Todd Nelson to get the call from the NHL to become a Pittsburgh Penguins assistant coach. So the Bears go out and bring in NHL veteran and a longtime coaching veteran, Derek King, here to Chocolate Town. We sit down with Kinger after the first 4 games of the season. Obviously 4 games in, you kind of got your skates under you, if you will. Yeah. What has it been like adjusting here in Chocolate Town just to start off this season?
Well, living-wise, it's been pretty good. Living downtown, close to the rink, I can ride my bike, I can walk, it doesn't matter. That's been good. Getting to know the players, I'm starting to feel a lot more comfortable with them on the bench, knowing the names, knowing when I call up a line, I know who I'm wanting out on the ice at the times. But it's been good. The adjustment's been fine.
I think when you were introduced here, we talked about, okay, we think it's going to be a lot of new faces, not just you, but for the players, and then to actually experience it, for me, there's a lot of new faces, a lot of young players, and it feels like that's the way the league is trending as well. But when you get all these guys who are having their first taste of pro hockey or their first taste here in Chocolate Town, how do you kind of bring this group together in just a matter of really 2 weeks at this point?
Yeah, it's not easy, and that's why we have some good vets to help out with that and try to do some things together. We did a little golf thing last week and just to get the guys out and be in different groups and that. But it's more just wandering around the room, sitting down in their stalls with them, having a chat, making sure everything's okay. Are you finding the grocery stores? Do you find a place to live? And do you need help with anything? It's nothing to do with hockey. It's more just the off-ice stuff. But on the ice, hockey's hockey. Nets haven't moved in hundreds of years, however old the game is, and they're adjusting fine, and so am I.
You're a dad of a number of young men in your personal life. Does it feel like you're playing a little bit of a dad role as you just adjust into this season?
Yeah, well, a lot of them are same age as my kids, so I know how to talk to them. I know when to get a little angry and raise my voice and when to maybe give a hug once in a while. But we got a special group of young kids. Washington's done a great job drafting. They're character kids. It's not always the most skilled, but the kids are nice, and they're, like I said, character kids, and I'm looking forward to working with them all year.
And you know that's the standard set in Hershey, right? Is of course they want to win Calder Cup championships here, and they've done that 13 times, most decorated franchise in American Hockey League history. But it really is a fan base that wants to know that they can support this group personally, professionally. How has it been adjusting to the Hershey standard? Because we know you've played 4 games in this building, and the fans will let you hear it if they don't like what they see.
They've already let me hear it, but no, they've been great. I think they understand. They know the game. They've been around it long enough. There's a lot of history here. Obviously, winning the championships have been, a special moment here for these fans. They've been spoiled. We're going to run into some speed bumps here along the way. But hopefully, we can get into the playoffs and see where we go from there. But we got to take this with these young kids one day at a time, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, let's zoom out a little bit. You've played 4 games. You picked up your 100th win as an AHL coach. Congratulations on that. 1 win in 4, and we talked to you after Sunday's loss, and you said consistency is the biggest issue. I think that's a word that people hear all the time, but what does that mean right now for this group?
Well, it's consistency in their shifts, and it's not just the young guys too. It's the old guys, but Consistency in periods. We play a good solid first period, then we have drop our guard down in the second, and then we come back out in the third and we outplay a team, but it's too late by then. So we just need to know that we learn to play consistently 3 periods. Don't change the way we play. Don't force the issues. And this is things as a staff we need to instill in our players.
In that third game, a 5-1 win, I was listening to your post-game comments in the dressing room, and you were saying, you know, you guys are going to make me gray and bald at this point and all of that, but you said that you found a little something there. What did you find in that third game that gives you confidence this group will figure it out?
Well, because they stuck together and they went back to how they played in the first period. And it's a lot of times I say to players with the bad shift, don't worry about the bad shift, it's what you do the next shift. It's the same with the team. You might have a bad period, but what are you going to do the next period? And they did. They stuck together as a team. They played some really good hockey, and the result was a win.
You inherited a captain from last year's team in Aaron Ness. How are you watching him adjust to the lone 35-year-old in the room?
Yeah, he's probably, his eyes are rolling. He's probably just, what's going on here? Because he's so used to older players, veteran teams. And but he's been great. He's, again, a character guy. I don't, as a coach, that's the type of player you want as your leader, a guy you can go talk to, ask him how the team's doing, how's this player doing, but he's just a great person.
You're on the road for one here on Friday and then at home, both against the Phantoms. You're going to play them 10 times this season. How do you establish a tone? Are you even focused on that in a team that you're going to see 10 times in the regular season?
Well, I've been in the American League before, and I understand you play some teams 10, 12 times. I think for us right now, we just have to worry about the consistency of period after period, playing the same way, not getting bored with the way we're playing, and buying into the process. So, we'll establish something. I'm sure there'll be a little love-hate kind of games, but it's a lot of hockey, and a lot of hockey against the same team a lot. So we'll be fine.
I was going to say, I think we should all remember it is October, and the season, even if you don't make the playoffs, goes for 6 months. So what would be a success by the end of October as you're looking ahead to November and a more consistent playing schedule? But what do you want to see here in the last 2 weeks of the month?
The last 2 weeks, I just want these guys to go and play hockey and not think. You see some of them are thinking a little too much about systems and what have you. They're going to make mistakes. I'm good with that as long as they're doing them with work. But just like I said, being consistent with their game and consistent with the team game.
Awesome. Thank you for the time.
All right. Thanks for having me.
The Bears are led by Captain Aaron Ness. In his 8th season in Hershey, the 35-year-old defenseman brings the veteran presence. He played his college hockey at the University of Minnesota before spending time in both the AHL and NHL, and says corralling this young cast takes time. He's been a part of back-to-back Calder Cup championships in 2023 and 24 and has confidence that this group will figure it out.
I think there's going to be a lot to be learned for a long time with a younger group. It just is what it is. And, it's hard to win games in this league, and you have to bring your best. And I think for us, the exciting part is when you've seen us play our best, what we can do and we're capable of. So I think there's a mix of taking that in and being positive, but also understanding that there has to be a lot of things better for us to win games consistently.
How much of an adjustment is that for you, particularly off the last 2 seasons where it felt like there wasn't a whole lot of ramp up in this part of the season?
Yeah, it's just different groups. I think that's a fun thing with hockey, and especially this league, there's a lot of turnover sometimes. So you get a completely different team, possibly year after year. So it's exciting. I love this group. I think we got a lot of good hockey players, a lot of good people, and I'm excited to see what we can do here in the future when we clean some things up.
On opening night, the Hershey Bears had 13 rookies on their roster. At times through 4 games, they've had 9 rookies in the lineup on the ice. It is certainly a much younger group than we're used to seeing here in Chocolate Town. So we talked to some of the veterans. Goalie Clay Stevenson, now in his 4th season in Chocolate Town, taking over a role that he used to share with Hunter Shepard, who is out of the organization now. Clay takes over as the everyday starter. Here's our conversation with the Hershey Bears goalie. In your 4th season here with the Bears, what has it been like to start this year? Obviously, last couple, you've been splitting time with Hunter Shepard, but now it's really your team, your moment. How's it gone so far to start?
It's been pretty well, to be honest. We're definitely going through some, learning experiences as a newer, kind of younger team, I guess. But I think we're definitely playing really solid. The past few games, I thought we've been pretty sharp. Springfield, they executed the last game pretty well, honestly. The goals they scored are pretty good plays, but obviously as a goalie, I think every puck can be saved. So it's here nor there, but overall, I think very solid. I think we got a lot to build off of, a lot of promise in our team, and we have a really hard work ethic. So it's a matter of time before things start clicking. I mean, you see it in moments often on the ice that things just kind of go our way when we're playing the right way, and we put that consistency together, and good things happen.
I think maybe for you can think back, and obviously you did play college hockey, but when you first adjust to the AHL and you're a young player, for some of these guys, they're coming to a new country, it's their first pro season, they're 18 years old. So do you try and take any of these guys under your wing as they try to adjust to just what this league is every single night and playing back-to-back nights, which might be new for some of these guys?
Yeah, there's a lot of certain things you help everyone with, probably more things off the ice, I guess, as guys start living on their own and, taking care of themselves and trying to figure out how it works finding a place to live or, some of that stuff. So you kind of take guys in like that and help them out. But in regards to like play and stuff, I think one of the biggest things, especially Nesser tries to push to the guys, is that it's tough to win every night in this league. It's one of the best leagues in the world, and it takes a lot. It takes everything you got to win most nights, and just trying to string together and be just present on the ice and do your job the right way. And I think everyone's kind of starting to learn that.
Yeah, and results will follow. Kinger's talked a lot about consistency through the first 4 games. Obviously, for a goalie, that's what you want to be, consistent, reliable. Yeah. But what does that mean for you, and then also for this team? How does that look as you guys approach the second half of October?
For me, I suppose, is I would call it pretty similar to the weekend, I guess. Sometimes as a goalie, you have to look at the game a little objectively. It can be tough sometimes, but as a goalie, sometimes, depending on if you win or lose, if really the structure of your game wasn't changing, if you're hitting your marks well and guys just execute plays, but your overall game kind of stays the same throughout, you're probably in a good spot. As far as the team goes, I think it's a lot to do with confidence as well. Going in there each day, believing that you're here for a reason, that you can play in the league with these guys, like bigger, stronger, faster guys, are smarter on the ice. Just that belief, and just building good habits each week in practice, and it's important as a goalie as well. Just being consistent on your habits, and that just leads to good puck luck, I find.
When you came in, obviously you had a phenomenal first couple of years, especially as a rookie, and now you are the veteran amongst the goalies and really one of the veterans on this team. How do you approach that role as a leader, and are you finding that an easy adjustment just because of the position you play on the ice?
I guess it's more an easy adjustment. Things don't change too much for me. We're pretty isolated back there, and there's a lot of older players that other guys can relate to a little bit more, but for me, I just try to, stay happy. Sometimes it can be tough as a goalie, but, stay happy, be kind of that rock back there, be consistent, be level-headed, not ride your highs too high or lows too low. Just be that consistent rock for the guys is my goal for the team. So.
And then I guess last one for me, as you guys approach the next couple of weeks, what would success look like? Obviously wins, losses are easy, but what things do you think this team needs to start establishing here early in the season?
I'd say just feeling, good about what we put out on the ice, as a goalie, sometimes you can lose a game, but feel really good about how you play, especially for players too. And I think just for guys consistently making good plays, consistently breaking up rushes, everyone being connected as a unit. We're communicating well, we're forechecking well. Just all three sections of the ice are just going well, and depending on the results or things happen on the ice that are just unpredictable, as anyone who watches hockey can know. But it's just winning those all three areas, and I think is important for just overall team morality. That's for sure.
Wins will follow.
Yes, absolutely.
Appreciate the time.
Of course, Allie. Thank you.
And while some of those new faces to Chocolatown are playing their first pro seasons, the Bears also went out and brought in different veterans from different organizations, including Graham Clark, who's played a number of years in the American Hockey League. So welcome to Chocolatown. What has the adjustment been like as you signed with Hershey, end up here, and I'm sure you know the standard that's set here?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited. Obviously, I've been here before. Played in Utica for 3 years, and then actually with Binghamton the year before that. During the COVID year, it seemed like we came here a ton because we only played a couple teams that year. So familiar with the atmosphere here, and it's nice to be on the home side because just in warm-ups or during the game, as an opposing team, it's almost a little intimidating with the awesome crowd they have. So to be on the home side is nice, and happy to be here. Yeah.
This is a team with so many new faces, and of course you are one of them, but you've played a significant amount of time in the AHL. You've been an all-star. When you try and assemble this young cast together, the first couple weeks might have some growing pains, but what has it been like as everyone kind of comes together, figures out what this team is going to be this year?
Yeah, it's an interesting team. It's interesting for me too, where for the it wasn't that long ago that I felt like I was the young guy, and then you kind of come in the room now and you realize that there's a lot of our team where it's their first couple AHL games this weekend, and that can be pretty demanding. Like, it's a pretty big jump. I remember for myself when you come from junior, or some guys are from college. I think that jump is very significant, and you saw probably a little bit of it in our games. Honestly, I thought we played pretty well for decent part of 4 of the games, but then there's just little things that happen that you can tell it's just us as a team still trying to build on some stuff, and it's 4 games in. Like, I'm not worried, and I actually just like our practice today and our practices, our games, and how we are in the room. I'm very confident it's going to be a good year, and I think we have a really good team. It's just about kind of getting all on the same page, and then guys just kind of getting their feet wet, honestly, with being kind of fresh,
What do you like about the team then? I know words like highly skilled have been thrown around and things like that, but what gives you that confidence that this is a good team, just looking for consistency?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's a highly skilled team. I think there's a lot of young, fast talent on the team, and I think that's always a good thing. And I think it's a lot of just good people in the room too. It's like we hang out, have a good time. I think so to just have that right out at the start of the season is always a good sign. And I think just once we start to get a couple more wins under our belt, you'll see that momentum build. And it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a good year. Yeah.
A lot of new faces for us, but including the head coach, who's new to you as well. But what is it about Kinger that's kind of working right now as he tries to learn everyone, find the right combinations? But what do you like about him right now as a head coach?
Yeah, I think he's been great. Obviously, it's my first year. It's his first year. It's a lot of guys' first year, and then there's so it's everyone's kind of just learning at their own pace. But I think we're all kind of getting to be on that same page, and he's been so good with everyone. Just every day he has a positive attitude. He's happy to be at the rink. He's been around the game for so long, played, coached. You pick his brain on anything. So he's a great guy and going to be a great coach for us this year. And just excited to keep going with that. And it's been a good transition for sure.
For you, you've already made a splash here, most shots on goal for the Bears. What is it about the opportunities that you're getting, the lines that you've been playing with, that's giving you the confidence to shoot the puck like that?
Yeah, I wish it was a different stat. Maybe a couple more went in, but I think it's always good to just kind of early in the season get your shots up and kind of just get your opportunities that way, and things will start to come. I like to think of it a little bit as a numbers game. You want to get those chances. So it's been good, and just want to keep building off that. And I think the lines, we've kind of shifted things around just with obviously a win and then some losses and stuff, and a lot of fresh faces. So it's just trying different things out. But no, I think it's been good, and just gonna, like I said, continue to shoot it and hope for the best.
Let's do a little self-scouting. What do you like about your game, and where do you want to grow this season?
Yeah. I think naturally, offensive player who I like to shoot the puck, obviously, and be in those areas. But I think just as I get older, just trying to almost be more of a leader in every sense, and you know, play all situations and try and be, you know, responsible away from the puck when I don't have the puck, all those different kind of things. I think I've learned that stuff over the last couple of seasons and kind of continue to build on that and round out my game fully. So that's just what I'm trying to do and just lead by example that way kind of stuff.
For the next couple weeks, as you guys approach, you're about to head on the road to take on Lehigh, a team you're going to play 10 times. They'll play them again back here on Saturday. But how do you approach these kind of in-division rivalries as you want to establish a tone? You're still trying to find your own identity, but this is a team you're going to see a lot coming up this weekend.
Yeah, seems like that's a theme. Like in the AHL, you get those a couple of rivalries where you play those teams a ton throughout the year, and you know, by the end of the year, it seems like you guys want to kill each other just because of how much you know each guy on each team and kind of how much you guys have battled throughout the year. But I think it's important for us to start off with a strong start on Friday, and we know we got them Saturday again too. So 2 important games for us. Like I said, we kind of want to get. I think, like I said, once we get a couple wins, the momentum starts to build. So it's a good feeling if we can start on the right foot on Friday, first period, and then just kind of build off from there. And like you said, we're going to see them a lot, so it's going to be important for us to set the tone with them.
Well, best of luck with the next stretch.
Thank you.
Let's zoom out and look at the Atlantic Division as a whole, which is currently dominated by the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins, jumping out to a 5-0 start to the season, the best team in the American Hockey League and the first to double-digit points this season, outscoring opponents 21-8. It's the largest scoring differential of any team in the league. This weekend, the Pens head to Charlotte for a big Atlantic Division 2-game test. Providence, also undefeated through Thursday, just through 4 games this season, come in second in the Atlantic Division. Charlotte Checkers, Lehigh Valley, both with 6 points. Bridgeport and Hershey with just 3. On the North Division side, Syracuse owns the top spot with a 4-1 record and 8 points. Laval, Rochester, Toronto, Cleveland round out the top 5. In the Western Conference, the Central Division is led by Grand Rapids, who is undefeated through 4 games, and Rockford both have 8 points. In the Pacific Division, Colorado Eagles have the top spot with just 1 loss in their first 5 games. So while we have started this show with the 13-time Calder Cup champion Hershey Bears, we are going to take you around the league, talk to reporters from across the country, coaches from each of the American Hockey League teams throughout the season as we bring you the story of the A. But for now, reporting inside the Giant Center, the home of the Hershey Bears, for the A, I'm Allie Berube.